Okay, we do have a lot of newcomers in the building, right? I think all of us are quite novice in this game. I've never done a podcast before.
Yeah, I've never been in one.
You've never been in one?
Yeah, no.
I've never been in one. I don't even know what a podcast is.
Nice.
What a podcast is. All right. So why don't we start by maybe introducing ourselves and what you're doing here, where you're from? Because most likely my target audience is people from Kenya or Africa in general, so they can understand the different parts of India, different types of Indians. Because I don't think there's just a homogeneous, identity of Indian. They're all diverse. They always say.
There's a lot of diversity.
Yeah.
So I'm Rochelle, and I belong to Dehradun, which is in Uttarakhand, India.
Dehradun.
Yeah. And I'm 22. I'm doing media
Yeah.
with an IR minor, so international relations minor.
So Dehradun is in North India.
Yeah.
North.
Yeah. It's a valley in the Himalayas.
Okay. Beautiful. What about you, Chinese?
My name's Ridhi. I am from Maharashtra here in India, but I've lived in Abu Dhabi my whole life. And I'm in my first year.
So do you feel foreign in India?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's foreign about India as opposed to where you come from?
I mean,
I still feel like I'm talking to this. Yeah?
just like a major cultural difference.
Yeah?
Like even though I was raised like with Indian values and culture traditions per se back in Abu Dhabi, that doesn't mean it's the same as over here.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So you're first year SSLA, you're a foreign NRI.
Yeah.
You're NRI. Okay, but first time in podcast, you seem quite tense, which is really good. I think you bring a different aroma altogether in this podcast. So tell us about yourself.
I'm Sindhu. I'm in the first year,
Okay?
and I'm from Hyderabad, which is a city in the south of India.
Yeah?
So I've lived in Texas for 8 years, and then I moved here
Oh, sweet.
in India. So I'd say I'm very far from any Indian culture here,
Yeah?
because yeah.
So this is very interesting. We have someone who's been in India for the rest of your life. I mean, you've seen India properly. We have someone who you've spent all your life outside India. This is your first time in India. And then we have someone who spent 8 years of her life in the US.
Yeah.
And then another 10 or 15 or 11,
10 years.
10 years. Thank you for letting our audience know how old you are, which is good. Legal age, even for the podcast. Yeah, there's a lot of things. Drinking is 21 in India.
Yeah, it's 21.
Still illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you spent almost half of your life abroad and
Yeah.
another half in India.
Yeah.
So you bring definitely a different perspective. So maybe I start a question with you. You grew up in a multicultural world. US is very culturally diverse as well.
Mm-hmm.
We have Africans, we have Hispanics, we have all types of human beings there.
Mm-hmm.
But then you came to India. What was the biggest difference that you observed when you came there?
I mean, the first thing I noticed when I came to India is how everybody loves studying so much.
Okay.
Because in US, people didn't really care much about studying. It was just like school was like one part of your life. But here it's like your life is school.
That's true.
Especially
So-
the girls in India
Yeah.
are really focused
Yeah.
on academics, and the girls generally do well, like better than the boys,
Okay.
the men,
Yeah.
for that matter.
Yeah.
We're just academically more inclined. I
Really?
feel, yeah,
Yeah.
but I think that has a history to it altogether.
I remember when I was in Kenya. This is a common stereotype that I had about Indians. That they're geniuses, especially when it comes to math. Because
Aryabhatta.
Everyone has
Zero.
that stereotype.
yeah.
Yeah.
We have this school. It's quite fancy in my neighborhood, in my city. It's
Okay.
called Aga Khan.
Aga Khan,
Yeah, it's an
I came from
international.
Aga Khan Academy.
You're from Aga Khan Academy?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Look at you. Okay. Yeah, so we had an inter-school mathematics competition, and I was representing my school, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. And this girl, so generally, academics is very difficult in my country. It's tough. Okay, they give you very difficult exams. And so this girl scored 87%. And I scored, I think, 40. No, not 87. Like 88 or something. There's no 87%.
No.
Yeah, something about 80, and I had a 40. And so generally, it was cemented in my life that Indians are damn good with maths until I came to India. I'm not saying they're not.
Whoa, some myths were broken for you.
Yeah. Which is
I
pretty
see
cool.
why. I see.
Yeah. So, well, you now, you've never been in India before.
No.
But in Abu Dhabi, I reckon there's a huge Indian diaspora there.
Yeah, it's like 27% of the population.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Indians are everywhere, man.
Yeah, we pretty much out.
That's a good thing, yeah?
Yeah, of course. Of
Yeah.
course, we represent.
You do
Yeah,
represent.
yeah,
You
we
do
do.
represent. So, is the Indian culture back in Abu Dhabi the same as in India? Or,
Way different.
yeah?
Yeah.
Just tell us about it. I'm quite interested to know.
Well, the thing is, the people who come to Abu Dhabi, like especially when they're raising their children there,
Yeah?
are very adamant on retaining Indian values and raising them the way they were raised
Yeah.
because they don't want their kids to forget where they're from. But while doing that, like it's like the culture of UAE also gets mixed in, and that's creating, I would say, very different ideologies in
Yeah.
comparison to how people feel
Yeah.
like here. And I don't know who's more Indian necessarily,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just way different. When I came here, I thought I could relate to people because I had an Indian upbringing, but then like that's not always the
I
case.
think India is very much more westernized now when
Yeah.
it comes to retaining our culture
Yeah.
within India. But if you see Indians going abroad, they would do everything in their strength to hold that back and keep the culture.
Yeah.
And I think that's how you were brought up,
Yeah.
which is why maybe you feel that way now.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
That's a really good. In fact, what I've noticed is, and maybe the audience should forgive me on this. This is just a sentiment that has no any meaning at all. I think Indians love to talk about culture a lot, the Indian culture.
Yeah,
But
we're proud.
but also, I've seen that a lot of them, they're the most westernized people I've ever seen. Like
Yeah.
they just grab all the Western ideologies and they're trying to be as Western as they can, as much as they can.
I think there is a huge dichotomy in our society right now
Yeah.
because of globalization
Okay.
and also the fact that we are much more, exposed to the Western culture.
Yeah.
And it's a thing with Indians that we embrace things. So I think maybe that's why you felt that way. And I would actually, to a certain
Yeah.
extent, agree.
So I will ask you, from the time you came to India, I know you're maybe 9 or 10 years old.
Yeah.
I reckon. But also the influence on, and your foundation was very American in terms of your culture. Very Western.
Yeah.
How different do you feel after coming to India? Do you think you've changed? Do you think the Indian ideologies have been indoctrinated to you? Or, I wouldn't say indoctrinated, but do you think you've absorbed them, or do you think you still maintain your own foreign identity?
I think I didn't really have much of like a single identity. I always was kind of mixed into both Indian and American. Even my parents never enforced Indian values. They just let me kind of absorb whatever I could in
Yeah.
life. So I think when I came here, I realized that Indians were trying to be more American than Americans, and it's not
Yeah,
working
is that
out.
true? I mean, possibly.
Yeah. I mean, America is just, they don't really think about how they're influencing the world so much, but India thinks, that America is like one of the greatest nations, and they're kind of very influenced by all this.
Yeah.
And they talk a lot about America, which I didn't really see the point of because we have our own culture happening here, but I guess it's a thing about when countries have power.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting. And what do you think about Abu Dhabi? I mean, also your transition. You said you found it to be quite different.
Yeah.
But can you tell us? Can you give us an example, like an example of what you actually found to be different? Like, is it the mentality of the people? Is it the behavior? Is it the food? Is it what? Is it the lifestyle? What exactly can you give?
Well, you mentioned food. That's obviously a big
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
But then, like, even in other things, like, for example, just patriotism or, like a measure of Indianness, I see often, like, whenever I've come to India, like, for vacations or things like that, and now that I'm here, it's like NRIs are kind of obviously viewed in a different light. It's understandable.
yeah,
But then sometimes it's with the light that, oh, because you're in a foreign country, perhaps you have a lot of money, which I don't really get because it's not like you can't earn money in India.
yeah.
And then there's also the case of, oh, you're an NRI, you probably aren't as Indian as we are. you aren't as connected to our culture, our roots, our history, or things like that. And then there's also like when you talk about patriotism, I would say like for me, I wouldn't find much of a significance or much of an emotional significance with like Indian festivals or something like that.
Yeah,
I enjoy them.
yeah.
I don't necessarily resonate with them the way people here do.
I feel it.
Yeah.
That's an interesting view. Now you've been here for almost the rest of your life. You know the place.
Yeah, I do.
You know all the corners, the digs, and the culture. I mean,
I mean, you
you have the
can't
exposure.
discover all the corners. It's
Yeah.
a vast country, but yeah, I mean, I have stayed here.
Land to still to assume so. And so now being an Indian,
Yeah.
I know you've seen that India is trying so much to open its doors for foreigners in different sectors. India is doing was to be one of the hottest spots for education.
Yeah.
There's a lot of education tourism coming in India. There's medical
Yes.
tourism.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes,
a lot
there
of
is.
people coming from Abu Dhabi and Middle Eastern countries coming to get treatment in India. And also, India is becoming more or less of a scientific hotspot where you find that, like ISRO just launched like a bunch of missiles. You find that almost all the biggest tech giants are in India, right?
Yeah.
So India is putting itself, on the
Yeah,
pedestal.
India is very open to global avenues right
Yeah. So how do you feel about foreigners coming to India? I mean, what is your thought and sentiment about foreigners, especially in the perspective of culture? Do you think they have
Culture.
any positive or negative cultural influence and impact to your country?
I would say that in general they have a very positive influence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel that way.
All right, good. So let's come to this. Do you have any black friends, or rather African friends?
I did when I went to school, but I'm not in touch with him
You're
anymore.
not in touch
Yeah.
with them. So, what do you think about Africans? I mean, and feel free. I mean, this is the best part, the best place to talk about this thing because no one will take any offense.
So my cousins stayed in Nigeria for
Okay.
good about 8 years, 8 to 9 years, because my aunt is a doctor.
Oh, sweet.
I mean, I have video called people from Nigeria and I've talked to them, and that is my perspective on like a single hand base. I
Okay.
mean, on one to one. And I mean, I've obviously seen the media, and you have YouTube channels, you have so many things. So it's like a very mixed perspective that I
Okay.
have. I I really like.
But there's a lot of things going on. I mean, let's call a spade and not a big spoon. You know.
Okay.
People, when it comes to India, if you go to Google, if you just Google it, just say Africans in India,
Oh.
what you'll see is five these and these African arrested for selling drugs, or five Africans arrested with prostitution and all. I want to know what is your sentiment on that. What do you think in relation to that? Do you think it's I mean, and I want you to be open with me.
I
It's
am,
okay
I am,
to
I am.
to say, oh fuck, these Africans are fucking drug peddlers. They sell drugs. I have seen them selling drugs. You can say it,
But I've
because
seen Indians selling drugs.
you've seen Indians selling drugs too.
So it's really not upon the people, it's about the individual.
Okay.
But yeah, there is a certain representation that goes on in the media. And since I am studying
And
media,
they've seen it. Yeah. Beautiful.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of perspectives that you'll get from different media personnel.
Okay.
And representation is one of the key points in building an impact on people.
Well, I mean, you're trying to be very diplomatic. At
Ah,
this point.
yeah. Because I'm an IR student. I'm also minoring in IR, and I have to be sensitive that
Yeah.
way because a lot of people are not sensitized.
Yeah.
They're not. But you have to be.
Sindhu, let me come to you.
Yeah.
Have you had any interaction either here
I
or
mean,
back in the UK?
yeah, I've had a lot. Like when I was living in US, I did have friends who were black, and like even in Aga Khan Academy when I came to India, there were lots of
Yeah.
black people
In Delhi or
in Hyderabad.
Hyderabad?
Yeah,
And what exactly? How was your interaction?
it's pretty normal, just like how everybody else interacted. They did have like their own sort of swag, which you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were more open about talking about many things, more than I found in Indians.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was one thing I noticed, and obviously, yeah, they do have good taste in a lot of things. It's pretty much a generalization. Yeah. So.
Okay. Okay. But so most of the time, actually, people don't know what she's. I mean, other people they have developed their own ideologies about African people, and they think like for instance, one day I used to cycle, okay, and one time I had some time like 3 or 4 months in hand before I came to uni, and I decided to do a cycle trip from Shillong to Hyderabad.
Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah. And so during that time, I had a lot, like I had like vast interaction, like crazy experiences, right? Good ones, all of them, right? And so one day I met this guy. It was in, I think it was in Hyderabad. I had just arrived in Hyderabad. It was really hot. Like, it was crazy. The sun was like scorching hot like a furnace. And so I was grabbing a fruit juice. This guy is dark. Even he was actually darker than me. He comes to me and asks me, "Why is your skin black?" Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Right. Yeah, yeah. So I like, okay, well, I am African, and Africans, not all, but most of them do have dark skin, but we have different types of Africans, so brown skin or white, we have whites as well, and okay, the guy asked me, is it also because it's very hot in Africa that your skin gets burnt? And you become like, well, I think I should ask you because you also have a relatively darker skin. So is Hyderabad that hot? And then eventually he got it, yeah. And then he asked me the next question was, so where are you from? I said I'm from Kenya. He said, did you come from Kenya on a cycle? And I'm like, well, no really. Did you come on a train? I'm like, no really. So and then he goes on. I mean, he's very chatty, and then he says, "In Africa, people are very poor, right? So there's this ideology that people in Africa. I mean, so at some stage, you just like,
No, but
This
as
guy-
an Indian who stayed in India
yeah.
I would like to ask you. So from the whole example you just mentioned, the whole situation,
Yeah.
what were the things that hurt you? And I mean, because
Well-
nobody talks about it.
Well, good. At some stage,
Yeah.
I had developed a thick skin about this shit.
Hmm.
Yeah, like I've been in India for 5 years.
Yeah.
All right, and I have traveled. I've like explored almost 21 states in India.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but my first craziest experience was when I was in Shillong. So, Shillong, there's a lot of football scene
Yes,
that
yes.
happens there.
Yeah, of course.
And so I had just landed in Shillong. You take a train or flight to Guwahati.
Yes.
And then you get a taxi from Guwahati to Shillong. There isn't a train, and flights are very rare. So I landed at a bazaar. It's a big ass bazaar. And there were these guys. They just came, Negro. And I
Oh
was like,
my
what
God.
the fuck?
Did they actually do that?
Yeah, and it's like you have like 20 people. Like they're all coming and smiling.
Oh my God.
And but the funny part is they're coming and smiling and saying hi to you.
Oh.
And I was like, wait. You want to beat me up? Or are you being nice to me? Because you're saying Negro and then you're smiling and shaking my hands and taking
Oh my
photos of me.
God. Oh no.
Yeah?
That's
quite
really.
common thing I've noticed.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah?
Indian people just, like, you see perhaps someone who doesn't look Indian. Someone,
Yeah.
especially I feel like it more commonly happens with white people,
white
to be
folks,
honest.
yeah,
Just like,
yeah,
can I take a picture with you?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
you look different.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen that too.
Yeah.
Many times, actually.
It's crazy. That time I was like, holy shit, I'm gonna die today. yeah. And so that is one time when no one has ever called me a Negro in my life.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
that's-
So that was the first one, and you have
Okay.
like 20 people coming to you,
Oh.
and I was like, wait, okay. And then I was with
That
my friend,
hurt.
yeah, it was my friend Prakash. He's like, it's okay, ciao. So I don't create scenes. I just took my next taxi and left. But that was my biggest.
Yeah.
But I also think like there's a difference between racism and ignorance.
Ignorance.
And
right.
it's really
Yeah.
ignorance. You
Exactly.
actually tapped into it.
Yeah, because
That's
like
not-
racism is like you know what they are
Yes.
and then still you hate
Yes,
them.
yes,
But
yes,
ignorance is
yes.
like you don't know and you're very
Yeah.
curious and yet you unintentionally offend them not knowing what you're saying. That's like ignorance in a
Yeah.
way. So
Beautifully said. And that's what I realized, right? Okay, maybe these people, they just saw it in a movie, and this is the first time they're seeing a black man, and in a movie it was said Negro.
So
Yeah.
So like they just come
Yeah.
for me, right?
Like they're not doing it in a way to hurt you.
Yeah.
They don't know what to call
Yeah,
you, so
they don't
maybe
know,
they're doing
right?
it.
But then the problem is there are some people in India who now know that it's not right.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah? I know people who know it's not right, but they call Kala Mama. It's like, yeah. You know? And they will just come to you. They revel in the ignorance, you know? It's like, oh fuck, I'm just the best ignorant human being in the planet, you know?
Yeah.
So that's just blatant racism in that
Yeah?
case.
Yeah.
No, but sometimes people are not aware either. So it's not just ignorance, but lack of knowledge, education in that part. Where,
Yeah?
Yeah, you don't know. You're not being ignorant or anything. You just don't know.
But like in India,
Yeah.
color is a big thing.
Yeah.
Like the color of your skin, it's major. Like I have read newspapers, especially at the back of the newspaper where they have this matrimonial advertisement.
Oh.
Yeah. I want a fair, but fair is like bold. You know, it's like we want a fair lady. You know, so the color of your skin in India, it's like it's major thing. It's a major
I
thing.
have faced that in my own family.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody told me that your mom is fairer than you. I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, your color is supposed to, get fairer, so
Yeah.
you should drink milk and all these things. I'm like, I can't believe you just said that to me. Yeah, like, excuse me, this is wheatish, we're supposed to be brown. And,
Yeah.
did you forget the fact that my dad is also involved in my genetics and my makeup and everything?
Yeah, true,
I mean,
true.
yeah, your mom is fairer than you. Like, okay, that is, I've faced that, so.
It's
I don't know.
crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy, right? But so in India, this is the best part. People know that addressing someone with the color of the skin, it's derogatory.
Yes.
Definitely they know because
Yeah.
people, fair and lovely is one of the biggest thing in India. It's like it sells,
Yeah.
it sells, you know.
Yeah.
So everybody here, I mean, and not everybody, but most people, they're aspiring to be either very fair or just white people. You know, I mean, they just want to be. If the
That's
more,
just post-colonial trash
Yeah.
thinking, honestly. I feel like that's just trash thinking and a lot of people have it
So
here.
do you think India, and not all? I mean, when I say Indians, I'm not referring to a generic group
Right.
of all Indians. I'm just referring to the ones that are very racist. Do you think this group of human beings, they know what they're doing because they know referring anyone with their color is definitely an aggressive, being passive aggressive. It's not right to just be racist. Or do you think they just don't know?
I would say if they know that it's wrong,
Yeah.
then and they're still doing it, then that's definitely like racism involved. The racism, or perhaps even ignorance of what racism actually consists of.
Yeah.
And I think it all just comes down to like a lack of education in that sense. Like, because the way I see it, India is such a diverse country that we're so like trying to learn about the world and also learn about the nitty gritty of Indian culture and our history and things like that. It's a lot to take in for some people. Some people focus on different things.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
true. That's really true. But it's crazy. I mean, for me, I've not been able to grip to have a grip on because if you come to my country, we have Indians. We have almost everyone in my country. It's one of the best places to be in the world. Kenya. It's very peaceful, very green. I mean, the economy is booming. Everything is perfect, right? I mean, not perfect. I'm saying the living conditions are good, right? And where I come from, we don't treat people in a certain manner. We're very respectful. And, we treat everybody equally. In fact, guests in my country, they're treated like guests. But when you come to India, where they say Atiti Devo Baba,
Yeah.
guest is a
Yeah.
god, and you find that sometimes you get the exact reverse of it. There's a lot of hypocrisy in that very statement,
Oh, yes. And sometimes they're just trying to be funny when they're, racist. Especially when they're racist, they're trying to be funny. They think it's funny,
They think it's funny.
but it's not.
They think it's funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not funny.
That's the point. They think it's funny. Interesting. Sweet. Well, before we close this, because we're almost there, now I want to come back to
Okay.
history and social media. Actually, you came back on the right time because we're almost getting over. Oh, so You told us that you're not on any social media.
I mean, I have like a dummy account which I use to check out like what my friends are doing because they like pester me like, please be on social media and see what we're doing. So I just do that to kind of see like if they're posting photography and stuff like that. So
You're not active.
I'm not active because I don't like interacting with people online. It's
Okay.
not my thing.
Do you interact with people offline?
Yeah, I hope so.
She is interacting with us right
This counts.
I mean, but yeah, I mean, I will definitely say this counts. But we pushed her. We just no, we didn't push her. Just, that's fine. But what is like the philosophy behind it? I mean, why not?
Because I think
Because for me, and I'll tell you, I want why I'm on Instagram because I have a podcast and I want to share with people.
yeah.
Or you know, I want to see what my friends are doing because I don't have time to talk to everyone in my life and to ask them what they're up to. But I can just flick on my Insta and like, oh, this is in Bahamas, this is doing this. Oh my God, I just graduated. You know what I'm saying? So do you? So what you're doing is, don't you think you're depriving your friends a chance to know what you're up to, or you just want them to call you and
It's
text
just like
directly?
I don't need to show the entire world what I'm up to
Okay.
because my life is my own world. It's my private thing. And if they want to know, then call me up, talk to me, come to me, meet me in person. Because like I do this bad habit, like when people text me, I leave them on read. Like even
Yes.
she's had it so many times because it's not because I'm angry or that I'm like I don't like you or something. It's just I don't want to text. So I do that a lot. So, like, I think people are trying to create this personality online, which is completely fake from what they are in real life. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen people I'm not gonna name in my batch who like
2022, yeah. No,
I'm not dissing
2023,
anybody,
yeah?
but like it's a common thing I've seen
Yeah.
in lots of people my
Yeah.
age and this generation. Like they try to put on this online personality where they're all having fun and parties, but when I see them in classes, they're just mopey and
Yeah.
very weird. Like it's not bad for you to be like one way, but why are you trying to put out this image of yourself which is not true online?
Isn't that a media platform? And now forgive me for
Yeah,
being a
yeah.
media
Yeah,
person.
let's get to that. Let's get to that.
But if it's a media platform, then you have to tweak it. You can't just show yourself exactly as you are because that's what media is about.
Yeah, it is. Interestingly, do you think life is straight? I mean, don't you think we all have a mask and a facade that we put on every now and then? Do you think you don't have a mask?
Of course, I do have a mask, but I don't need these many masks in life. Like, why do I need so many masks? Like online, who am I trying to face? Like, what am I trying to achieve? Like, in real life, I just want to have a life. I want to talk to people. I want to go through my life. I want to achieve my goals. I don't need random people from the other side of the world liking, double tapping on my forehead on Instagram because I look great in my dress.
Specifically your forehead.
Boy, you're so American. Holy shit, you're so American.
Is this American?
This is very American.
I assumed Americans weren't on social media and like this.
No. Americans are, I mean, and forgive me to say this, but me and my friends always say that Americans are very, they can say anything.
And get away with it?
There's like, you know, there's a word for it. I just don't want to say.
I know.
Yeah,
I know what
I
you're
mean, you
getting
know, that's just what she's doing, you know, which is pretty cool. I mean, no fucks given, you know what I'm saying? Which is cool. I mean, in India they tweak it.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, they give you chai first, and then they call you an asshole. Chai le na chu. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Very well done.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for taking our time to chill out and hang out with me. I would definitely like to sit down with you guys once again.